Hi guys, after my long video, I think yesterday, a lot of people sent me quite a few emails. And I understand that. You're entitled to your opinion, and so am I. For me, it's most of the comments contain the following. Before I start, I have to say that these are all my thoughts and opinions. And I only do this for fun, actually, because of COVID. So yeah, so if you have your opinions, that's absolutely fine. Of course, everybody's entitled to that. That's what being in a democracy is all about. Okay, I haven't taken that out of the way. I am not doing my videos because I hate Harry nor Meghan Markle, but I don't know them. But their actions is fraud. Because why do I say that? And those are all my opinions. We've established that. Why? Because if Harry and Meghan had been honest and taken up the Queen, Her Majesty the Queen's offer for Meghan to remain a private citizen in order for her not to be bound by the restrictions and responsibilities of being a royal and a working royal of that, then Harry wouldn't have received additional titles, nor Meghan would have been able to use his titles by extension, just like Princess Eugenie and Princess Beatrice and Princess Royal Anne's husbands. Not because people are being racist or they didn't want her, it's just because it's the way it is. If you want to remain a private citizen, in order for you to lead your life the way you want it, without any of the responsibilities that are associated to as a working member of the royal family, then that's fine. But I do take issue with the fact that they lied. If somebody is giving you the courtesy of time for you to get to know the environment you're in, because the responsibilities are quite high. So Meghan was banking on the fact that it's harder to take the title away without looking petty, and this is where, when I say that you need to hire a gangster to deal with people like Meghan Markle. Because let me give you a very quick example. I own companies, and I have one of my favorite employees now. He used to be in his youth a thief, and he got into a lot of trouble. But he is the sorry, I'm gonna put this higher up. But he's the son, he's a neighbor, and I really liked him, so I wanted to give him a second chance. He was in jail for thieving and stuff like that, and he got out, so I gave him a job. People thought I was crazy, but I really did think that he was a nice kid, it's just caught by breaks, and thankfully it's turned out that he's a very good person. He grew up as a nice guy once he was given the opportunity to rehabilitate himself. Anyways, I digress. So one day, my home, this is in another country where, you need to have high walls and stuff like that. And I had a security firm, with sensors and all kinds of things, right? So I had outside, because it's such warm weather, I had outside chairs and stuff like that. And I remember one day we woke up and two of the chairs were gone and some of the things were gone. And I'm like, what the hell? How? I mean, because you see the high walls and we have all these sensors and everything, right? I called the company because, of course, we're insured, and the company looked around. They couldn't figure what it was and blah, blah, blah. And then the next day, they put more sensors in, and then they put like these electrical wires on top of the walls, The very next weekend, two more of the chairs are gone and other stuff. So I said, this can't be right. So this guy, he'd been away on vacation, from his work, from me, because he's entitled to vacation. He came back, and then he sees all this commotion, and he goes, what's going on, Paula? Mrs. Paula? And I said, well, I explained, we've been, robbed twice. But we couldn't understand how these people were getting, into the grounds. This guy literally took a look, and he says, I know, it's easy. there was on the other side of the wall, there was a huge tree, and one of the branches was coming on top of, high up on top of the wall, you know, the perimeter wall. But it wasn't touching the roof, but it was over that. I mean, this guy, it took him, and then he demonstrated, he proceeded to demonstrate, oh no, all you have to do is, he went outside, we turned on all the sensors, and then he just went up the tree, went up to the thing, threw his rope, and landed on the property without any of the sensors going on. Why? Because he was able, he had been a thief. He could spot the weaknesses, and you know, these people, that's what they do. So this is why the royal family have to handle things like that. Her Majesty the Queen, Harry and Meghan, they were both raised to disrespect people, to only, they were never taught respect nor boundaries. So for them, it's not about, how can they? So how can they show respect? You know, this is like bringing a shiv or a knife to a gunfight. You are going to get shot each and every time. You know what I mean? So yeah, all of you who have sent me those things, upset that I hate Meghan and Harry, it's not that. It's just that they committed fraud. This woman didn't even send her clothes from Canada, and she was there for over a year. So, and this is because Her Majesty the Queen took Harry at his word, even though she knew that Harry was not trustworthy, because it's not the first time. I don't know many of you, because now I actually tried to Google this. I tried to look for it, because I don't know if you remember, guys, the scandal when Sophie the Countess was working. She used to have her own successful PR firm, and she was caught in a scandal with a guy who pretended to be a sheikh. And she said very nasty things, or very true things, about some senior members of the royal families. One of those was Harry. She said that Harry was one of the nastiest, most entitled, spoiled people she had ever met, and that everybody catered to his tantrums. I mean, she had to apologize publicly, but this is way back then. This is in 2001. That she said that Harry was, you know, riding the wave of, what was it that she said? Riding the wave of pity for his mother's death. That she never seen a kid, you know, be so conniving as to use his own mother's death to get everything he wanted. So it's not the first time Harry has done that, and the royal family has known about it. So Her Majesty the Queen, you know, the Royal Marriages Act was there for a reason, to prevent situations like these. It's too sad that they haven't done that. But if you want to do something about it, there's absolutely something that you can do. Her Majesty the Queen has absolute control over royal titles. The line of succession has to be done in tandem with Parliament. But trust me when I tell you that Parliament and the Queen, they work closely together. This is why they were able to amend the succession line in the succession treaty in 2012, when Nicola put forth the amendment. And then the Queen later on issued the letters patent, stating that all of Prince William's children will be known as Prince and their Royal Highnesses, because there were actually, according to the previous to the still existing letters patent from George V or something like that, they were not only the firstborn of the son of the Prince of Wales can be called His Royal Highness, and that. I really do think that you can write to your MPs to amend the succession line even further, stating that the primogeniture, I think it's called, should be amended to 1948. That's the year that Prince Charles was born onwards. That way, Princess Anne, who's actually a kick-ass royal, would come before Prince Andrew. And to request that only the people, only working members of the royal family living in the UK can be in the line of succession. That way, if you're not living in the UK, you can't be in part of the line of succession. I think that's a very elegant way to first it's an incentive for the British royals to live in the kingdom that they're, you know, that they're in the line of succession to, and second, to to tell them if you're not here, then you're removed without having to be aggressive about it. You know what I mean? So, and that you can do. Also, you can write to Her Majesty the Queen telling them that the dukedom has to go, because one message was very clear from Harry when he said that he was never going to go away, no matter what they said. It's basically, the translation to that is that I am never giving my titles up willingly. That was his translation on that bus. I am never going to go away. I'm always going to be in the service. Why? Because translation is, I'm not giving up the titles. You have to take them from me. But Her Majesty the Queen can amend and say that, you know what? Only British citizens can use the royal titles. That way, Meghan can't use any of Harry's royal titles and be HRH. And only that's a very elegant method. So yeah, for the line of succession, do that. Write to your MPs asking them to amend it. That is absolutely something you can do. And by the way, ANL, I am so looking forward to March 2nd, because everybody has been so busy about Harry and Meghan Markle and Oprah that they have neglected to understand that the court case is not won. Part of it was decided upon subject to appeal. And then the other part hasn't been ruled on as to actually who owns and who wrote that goddamn letter. That letter, sorry, I apologize for people I say goddamn, but it's that bloody letter. They haven't, So, because if it is determined that she didn't write the letter, then her privacy wasn't violated. You know what I mean? And so the court, ANL, I am pretty sure they are going to appeal. In regards to Oprah, I really do believe that this is Meghan Markle's and Harry's way of... They're just stupid. This is going to be like the Police Academy, the sequels. Police Academy 1, Police Academy 2, Police Academy 3. Why we left the Royal Family 1, why we left the Royal Family 2, why we left the Royal Family 3. It's so boring. They have nothing else to do. They have nothing else to talk about. Harry's only talent is that he got a prince title. That's it. I think that he should be forbidden to talk about his grandmother, Her Majesty the Queen. But that's just my opinion. So yeah, what do you think? I mean, these are all my thoughts. And let me know what you think. And thank you again, you guys, for sending me support with coffee, buying me coffee and donations. I really appreciate it. Yeah, but what do you think? I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I am really looking forward to ANL thing. Write to your MPs demanding that they amend the line of succession. First, that the primogeniture be, instead of being from 2011, it should be set from 1948. And then, and that only members of the royal family living in the UK can be in the succession line. That way, any of them who flee the country to live abroad, they can't be part of it. That way, it's an incentive for them to remain there and follow the rules. It's just, a few suggestions. I might be wrong, but anyways, what do you think? And yeah, and I'm so looking forward to this. I'm really looking forward to the court case on March the 2nd. Oprah and Harry, Oprah couldn't even generate enough public interest, which is why she had James Corden release the video, because she wasn't generating enough interest, because nobody knows who they are. Anyways, you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And thank you once again for all your donation, guys. I'm sorry about my eyes, but I have the worst allergies. And I don't wear makeup. So thank you for all. And let me know what your opinions are. It's very interesting, but let's root for ANL, that's Associated Newspapers Ltd, to appeal on March 2nd. That's going to be very juicy and interesting, because that's going to put they're going to be doing another re-editing if they appeal on March 2nd, because a lot of the things is the victory that they had in the newspapers. So if ANL appeals, that's going to be another crisis flight from Oprah to Montecito to re-edit. There's a lot of stuff they won't be able to use. Anyways, you have a good weekend.